What's up, YouTube? Okay, so the lighting's really horrible today, and I don't know why, because I actually opened my curtain and I'm using natural lighting instead of trying to work with my fluorescent / yellow lights that I have. So I don't know what's up with the lighting, but I'm really not this pale, I swear. I think I say that in every video. But today I'm going to do the tag that was created by Bridget, and if you don't know who she is, I'm linking her in the down bar, so go check her out. She doesn't have that many videos, but she's actually really good. But she found these questions off of Tumblr, and so she decided to make a tag video about them. And they're pictures. They're questions that you actually have to think about. And so I thought it was kind of cool, so I was like, I'm gonna do it. So I'm doing this tag real fast, and like I said, Bridget created it, so go check hers out, and then you guys should do it too because I tag everyone. Okay, so let's get started. Number 1, what's something you hide about your personality? Something I usually hide about my personality when I first meet somebody is just how goody two-shoes I really am. My dog's bugging me. Just how goody two-shoes I really am. And if you guys are wondering, because this isn't the puppy I got for my birthday. This is kind of a side note, but this isn't the puppy I got for my birthday. That puppy actually ran away 7 months after I got him, and I was devastated. So my dad told me to go buy a new one, so that's what I did, but I'm still looking for my old puppy. But, so like if I get him back, I'm just gonna have to. This is Brody. So hi, meet Brody. Brody's tired. Brody's mad, I've been gone all day. So yeah, that's probably, like, I hide just how much of a goody two-shoes I really am and how much I don't do things that most 21-year-olds actually do. So, number 2, what's something other people think about you that you don't agree with? Oh man, everybody when they first meet me gets the impression that I do drugs, that I smoke, that I am this hardcore badass, that I have this really tough personality, and they wouldn't mess with me, and I'm really not a badass. I'm really not hardcore. I don't do a lot of I don't do any drugs. I don't do any drugs. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I drink very rarely. I have to, like, if I drink occasionally. Like, I don't drink a lot. Describe. So yeah, that's probably the things that people think about me that I don't agree with. Number 3, describe your favorite texture. My favorite texture is, and if my dog wasn't on my lap, I'd actually go get what I'm trying to describe, but I love stuffed animals. Anybody who knows me knows I'm a child at heart, and I love stuffed animals. And the really soft stuffed animals that you could sit there and pet all day, that is my favorite texture. And I actually have a blanket that is zebra print that is exactly like that, but it's kind of my dog's blanket, so and again, my dog's on my lap, I won't go get it. Number 4, which fictional character would you most like to have lunch with, and why? If I could have lunch with any fictional character, who would it be and why? If you guys have read Safe Haven by Nicholas Sparks, it is a book about a lady who is actually in a very abusive relationship, and she can't get out because her husband is a cop in her hometown, and she lives in a small hometown, so she actually runs away from him, and she moves to a town in North Carolina, and while she's there, she ends up falling for this other guy, and then her ex-husband comes back for her. But I would love to meet her. I'm trying to think of her name, and I can't think of her name in the book. But I would love to meet her and sit down, and just because I would love to know what it's like being in that situation and how, like, what her inspiration was to get through it, because she didn't have any friends, she didn't have any family, and I would love to know, like, how hard of a, lifestyle it would be. Number 5, who would you say is your anti-role model? Someone who serves as a warning rather than an inspiration. For me, anybody that does drugs is my anti-role model. Like, anybody that will ruin the rest of their lives by putting something harmful in their body just has no respect, in my opinion. Which is kind of hard for me to say because I actually have a lot of drug users in my family. But it's just something I can't stand. I can't stand people who purposely ruin their life for drugs, and I'm talking any type of drug. I don't care if you just do weed. I don't care that weed's becoming legal nowadays. I still consider it a drug, and I still consider it just as harmful as all the other drugs. 6, what kind of underwear do you imagine Sherlock Holmes wears? Well, if we're talking like Sherlock Holmes isn't like the guy who, like Robert Downey Jr. who plays Sherlock Holmes, then I can see him being like the very comedian guy that would like wear like bikinis or something very like untypical. Is that even a word? Is untypical a word? But I would see him definitely wearing like bikinis. Now, as far as like the character Sherlock Holmes, since it's based in the olden times, like I'm just gonna go with like boxers because I'm pretty sure that's what the guys wore back then. Number 7. What's one of the most difficult things you've ever had to do? Are we talking like physically, emotionally? Because if we're talking like emotionally, then it would probably be saying goodbye for the last time, knowing it was the last time I was ever gonna see my cousin. That was probably the hardest things I've ever been through. Number 8. If you were an element on the periodic table, which would you be and why? I'm just gonna go with I didn't take chemistry in high school and I never really learned the periodic table, and I'm not gonna be cool and pull up Google and try to like sound smart because I really just don't know. So I don't know that one. Number 9. Which Disney princess do you most identify with and why? Which is your favorite and why? Okay, both of these are gonna be like the same answer because I didn't really get into like Cinderella and Snow White and like Beauty and the Beast and all that stuff. So I'm gonna have to say Pocahontas. I was obsessed with Pocahontas when I was a child, and I probably still am kind of obsessed with Pocahontas, but that's my dog. Ignore him. Her. Yeah, I have a lot of dogs, okay? But back to the point. And I get told that I look like Pocahontas by a certain someone. I'm not mentioning his name, but so I'm gonna have to go with Pocahontas for both of those, and the reason is because I was obsessed with it as a child, and I have a friend who tells me that I look like Pocahontas. 10. You're an action movie hero. What's your weapon of choice and line you scream when defeating your arch enemy? I want to be Batman. Like, Batman didn't have a weapon. Batman just used his own powers, and I probably wouldn't scream anything because I'd be too focused on... No! Defeating my arch enemy, I would scream, finish him. Yes. Kind of like, you know, the Mortal Kombat theme. Yeah, that would totally, yeah. What did you think of, number 11, what did you think about before you fell asleep last night? I was actually talking on the phone to someone when I fell asleep last night, and I fell asleep on my phone. So I have no idea what I was thinking about, to be quite honest with you. Number 12. What is the oddest term of endearment you've ever used or that someone's ever used for you? Okay, so I'm pretty much just gonna be very unoriginal and just be like probably schnookums, because not very many people have like called me odd things. I used to get called cutie butt all the time, which was kind of annoying, but yeah, I don't really have a lot. Number 13. What was something you used to enjoy but was ruined for you? What was the story behind it? Oh! I used to love to ride the Superman at, Kentucky Kingdom. And if you don't know what the Superman is, it's called Tower of Terror or something like that in other places. But, like, it's this big pole, and it's got seats around it, and it takes you up, and then you drop really fast and really far. And when you drop, you, like, drop down, and then you bounce up, and you just continue to bounce until the ride's over. But I rode that ride, and then, like, 2 rides after I rode it, a girl got on it and rode it, and one of the cables broke as they were dropping down, and the cable flung her around the tower and, like, sliced her ankles off, like, sliced her at her ankles and cut her feet off. And I want to say she got her feet, like, reattached and everything was fine, but still, that's just not something I'll do now, and I won't ride any ride like that just because I know there's a fear behind it. 14. How do you think you will fare when the zombie apocalypse arrives? This is very funny because I actually, not too long ago, had a dream about the zombie apocalypse because me and my friends joke about it all the time. And, so I was dreaming and we had to fight off the zombie apocalypse, and I had peaches and they hated peaches, so I've just got it in my head now that zombies hate peaches, so I'm just going to carry peaches around with me the entire time I'm in the zombie apocalypse. So they will never, ever, ever, ever get me. Number 15. And no, Jesse, no matter how many times you tell me otherwise, I'm still going to believe that. Number 15. Describe your dream library. Okay. I'm going to take this as in, like, describe my dream library as in, like, the room and the books that are in it. So, like, my dream library would be the ones that you see on TV in, like, the mansions, that you have to have a step ladder that goes all the way up, and then, like, you, like, zoom it to, like, different shelves. You know what I'm talking about? And it would be full of books. I'm just going to name a few of my favorite authors. Nicholas Sparks, it would have all of his books in it because I'm obsessed with Nicholas Sparks. Lauren McDaniel, even though her books make me cry, I love her books. I would probably put all of Danielle Steele books in there, even though I'm not really a huge fan of her. I still like her. I'd put, oh my gosh, I wouldn't even tell you how much manga I'd put in there. There would be so much manga. Oh, I'm a nerd, by the way. What else would be in my library? And then I'd have a lot of, like, autobiographies and, like, you know, true stuff that would, like, educate me and stuff, and, yeah. So that would be my dream library. 16. What's the weirdest item you've ever mourned? Oh, my goodness. I'm going to have to say, probably when I was little, I cried over everything I had to get rid of. Like, and I'm not kidding. Especially stuffed animals. I was really bad about stuffed animals. Like, to me, stuffed animals have feelings. Not so much now as when I was younger, but when I was younger, stuffed animals had feelings, and I didn't want to get rid of them. Like, they were going to be so sad when I got rid of them. So, probably every stuffed animal I ever owned. 17. If you could design an amusement park ride, what would it be like? Well, true story about Danielle. She's afraid of heights, and she's afraid of roller coasters, and so it'd probably something like, at my local theme park that I go to, like, every summer, they have this ride, and I'm not going to tell you the ride because then you'd be able to, like, Google it and stuff, but you sit in this raft and you go through the course and you get sprayed with water and stuff, and I want that, but I want it, like, twice as long, and for it to go through, like, more obstacles than what it goes through. So, something along those lines. Number 18. What's something you want to do that you'd be embarrassed to tell other people about? Make YouTube videos. Like, not very many people know about my YouTube channel that I know in person, or that I know, like, personally. Like, it's not something I've felt comfortable with coming out with yet, so I would have to say make YouTube videos. That would probably be the one thing that I want to do that would be that I'd be embarrassed to tell other people about. So, that's the unique questions. I tag you to do it, so you should do it, and post it as a video response. Bye.